CM 365, all about Carnatic music. Today I am going to share with you not something about music, but something which is very, very integral to the music making. Yes, I am going to talk to you about body language in music. Now, what is body language in music? It is part of a cultural recognition that music is actually much more than sound. It is the interaction which happens between the artist on stage maybe, and the next step is of course the interaction between the artist and the audience. And this is conveyed through various kind of facial expressions, and also sometimes we see that the hand gestures are used to convey various points, to emphasize certain things and so on. Now, when we are sitting in the stage in perfect harmony in a calm posture, then what happens is that we spread some kind of a positive vibration to the audience also. They see that we are confident about the art that we are going to present, and so that way it forms a beautiful connect, and the audience also feel the experience as enthralling. Now imagine you yourself are very tensed and worried about what you are going to present on stage, and you are feeling quite uncomfortable. Then automatically the audience can sense this body language. Even if the music may be coming out perfectly, they'll be able to sense this uncomfortableness in your body language, and then you see that the enjoyment is not as much as it is when you are calm and feeling poised and sitting in a very confident manner and presenting your own music stuff. Then what happens is that when the audience is watching such a particular artist, they put their faith in the singer who projects this kind of passion, confidence and enthusiasm. Now, when we are talking about body language, the first of course comes to my mind is the body language which happens between all the artists on stage. That is the main artist and his accompaniments. Imagine one particular vocalist who just closes his eyes tightly like this from beginning to end and sings a concert. Obviously, he is not able to make any kind of connect with his co-artists. But at the same time, if he looks eye to eye on them, and he is trying to present some idea, or if he gives a smile to them, or gives a nod to them, or if he uses his hand gestures, then you know what happens is that there is a beautiful connect not only with by the music but also by the body. So there is a perfect sync happening on stage. The next body language of course is that about how we present ourselves in a pleasant and confident manner to the audience, where we give a smile or we present ourselves in such a beautiful way in terms of showing through the eye or through other gestures, you know, that we are enjoying our music. So only when the audience get a feel that we are enjoying what we are performing, then they also tend to enjoy. Here I would like to share my own personal observations on a few musicians and what their body language convey to me. This is something very subjective and you may differ from my opinion. But nevertheless, I thought I'll share it with you. In terms of body language, one of the beautiful body languages which comes to my mind is that of Srimati M.S. Rajalakshmi. And her face, the radiance on her face, it evoked divinity through a meditative kind of an expression. And the bhakti bhava that we talk about was not just there in the music, but in every aspect of her body language. And I think that made for great listening. And we see that she sometimes would close her eyes, you know, in a meditative manner. And that was like, you know, she was completely surrendering herself to at the altar of music. And at that time, you also felt you got lost. So that kind of a beautiful, subtle body language she had, which really engulfed the audience and brought each and every one into her fold. The next contrast who comes to my mind is Dr. M.L. Vasantakumari, who used minimal body language, I would say, where even super fast and very, very intricate phrases were presented, but there would be hardly much expression on her face. Hand gestures and all were never there, as far as I know. And one interesting body language I observed was when she used to sing the Raga Alapana, after singing every phrase, she looks at the violin. You know, she will sing one phrase, look at the violin, and then come back. So this has been one of her own typical unique body languages, I would say. Another contrast is Sri Volati Venkateshwarulu, who was a great musician and produced such beautiful, intricate kind of music. But there would be hardly any expression on his face, and it would be almost stoic, I would say. And then contrast to this is our Veena maestro, Sri S. Balachandar, who would have his own way of showing through his face, you know, all the emphatically he would want to show what he is trying to play. And more interestingly, I would say, is that his body language was such that it conveyed even the unplayed swaras and made the audience imagine them with a sense of awe and excitement. So it was more like he was creating through his body language a sense of illusion in us, of even hearing the unheard. You know, that's kind of a very rare kind of thing where he would just play something and then he would stop somewhere and just give you that a sign where it says that, listen, this is what I intend to convey to you. So that's a very, very beautiful language, body language, I would say. And among the younger generation, Rajesh Vaidya is another such person who comes to my mind, whose body language reveals to us that he's enjoying every bit of his music. He just loves his music. He's passionate about his music, and I feel that his body language at every point of time conveys that to the co-artists and the audience. So that way he is able to keep the audience, you know, kind of engulfed with his music all the time, and it's like, you know, you are thrilled at every point of time to see him as much as hearing his music. So that's the kind of body language. Another person who comes to my mind is Ganesh Kumaresh, where the interaction of the body language makes you understand that they're enjoying the music of each other. So like this, we see that every musician has got his typical body language. Some may be very subtle, some may be very overt, but nevertheless we see that it plays a very, very important role in terms of the music making. And that is why probably, in spite of the fact that we are able to hear so much of music through YouTube and other things, we feel like going back to listen to an artist live, because of the fact that it is not just about the music, but it is also about the body language, which conveys so many beautiful aspects of our music.
CM 365, all about Carnatic music.